Recorded Books Incorporated presents an unabridged recording of A Virtuous Woman by Kaye Gibbons, narrated by Ruth Phimister and Tom Stechschulte. This work is copyrighted 1989 by Kaye Gibbons. This recording is copyrighted 1998 by Recorded Books Incorporated. When Blinking Jack Stokes met Ruby Pitt Woodrow, she was 20 and he was 40. She was the carefully raised daughter of Carolina gentry, and he was a skinny tenant farmer who had never owned anything in his life. They didn't fall in love so much as they simply found each other and held on for dear life. And now, A Virtuous Woman.
Chapter 1. She hasn't been dead 4 months, and I've already eaten to the bottom of the deep freeze. I even ate the green peas. Used to, I wouldn't turn my hand over for green peas. My whole name is Blinking Jack Ernest Stokes. Stokes the fire, Stokes the stove, Stokes the fiery furnace of hell. I've got a nerve problem in back of the face, so I blink. June nicknamed me for it when she was little. My wife's name was Ruby Pitt Woodrow Stokes. She was a real pretty woman. I used to lay up in bed and say, "Don't take it off in the dark. I want to see it all." Ruby died with lung cancer in March. She wasn't but 45. Young woman to die so early. She used to tell me, she'd say, "What's good for the goose is good for the gander." I imagine I'll stop smoking about the time you stop drinking. June's daddy, Burr, told me one time people feed on each other's bad habits, which could be true except for one thing. I'm not really what I would call a drinking man. I hardly ever take a drink, except when I need one. But Ruby died, and they laid her out and crossed her hands over her bosom, and I said to them, "I never saw her sleeping like that." They said, "But that's the way everybody was laid," so I said, "Fine, then, I'll let her be." I did lean over in the coffin, though, and fix her fingers so the nicotine stains wouldn't show. Ruby had the creamiest, soft skin, and I hated to have brown spots ruin her for people. Suppose you went to view somebody who died being shot or stabbed somewhere so you'd notice. Don't you know they'd fill in with some kind of spackle and smooth it over to match him? Sure they would. Same thing, only different with Ruby's 2 ashy-smelling fingers. God, you ought to have seen her in the hospital.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?